This is iDesign Lab, a podcast where creativity and curiosity meet style and design. Curator of interiors, furnishings, and lifestyles. Hosted by Tiffany Woolley, an interior designer and a style enthusiast, along with her serial entrepreneur husband, Scott. iDesign Lab is your ultimate design podcast, where we explore the rich and vibrant world of design and its constant evolution in style and trends. Today on iDesign Lab, we're joined by Lindsay Schleis, Vice President of Business Development at POLYWOOD. With over 15 years shaping the casual furnishings industry, Lindsay's design expertise has been featured in Architectural Digest, Forbes, and more. She's a fierce advocate for sustainability and innovation, and a mom of three who believes great design brings people together. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the iDesign Lab podcast. Today we are joined by Lindsay Schleis, the Vice President of Business Development at POLYWOOD, which is a really exciting brand that we're going to get to dive into today and learn a little bit more. It is a made in America. So let's welcome Lindsay to the podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us, or me, POLYWOOD.
POLYWOOD.
So first thing we like to ask is, tell us just a little about yourself.
Well, I live in Madison, Wisconsin. I grew up here in the great state, the Midwest. I'm a Midwest girl at heart, I would say.
Me too.
I went to college here, and then after college, I did some traveling. I studied abroad in Costa Rica and landed a job out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin that took me out to New York City for a little bit. Ironically, like right before I met my husband, and I say we fell in love over the old Nokia phone, where my entire per diem went to my cell phone bill back then. But he lived here in Madison, and once I kind of did that stint in New York City, we knew we wanted to settle down and get married, and we bought a house and have 3 children and a dog, and yeah, that's me.
So living the American dream. Where did you dive into design industry? Where did your work collab cross over into the design world?
Yeah, I would say it wasn't until probably I started with POLYWOOD that it really crossed over. I've always had a passion for design and style. Living in New York City, you know, a Midwest girl in New York City. It was it was amazing, and got to do a lot of really cool things there, working with more of the magazine industry and the large publications, and just the exposure there. And then when POLYWOOD recruited me about 8 years ago, after I had been in the outdoor furniture industry for about 8 years prior to that. And
it's such a niche, a little niche.
What's that?
There. It's such a little niche that you are actually, in the outdoor furniture industry.
Yes. Yeah. I say, it's a really large industry when it comes to dollars, but it's pretty small when you get to, the nitty gritty and the manufacturers, and we're one big family in this industry.
I know. And there's still so much growth to be had, which is why, we like to tackle some of those conversations in this podcast. Okay, so keep telling us about how you came to POLYWOOD.
Yes. So prior to POLYWOOD, I started in the industry back when I was trying to find a job in Madison after we decided, we wanted to settle down here. And I answered a ad in a newspaper for a job posting, because that's what you did back then.
That's so funny.
And it was for a company that did a joint venture in China, actually. So I was doing a lot of international travel and international work in the industry. They really gave me, a really great opportunity to get my feet wet in all different areas of the industry, to be honest. And after 8 years, I had my second child, and thought I wanted to stay at home. And I am a pretty driven, hardworking woman, and that was really challenging for me. So
But you
I
knew
joined
there was a
another
way.
yeah. I joined another company and worked there for a little while before I was recruited by POLYWOOD. And I'd been doing a lot of international travel, which I loved, but was challenging with
Young kids.
children
Young
at
kids.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to tell the story about my first interview at POLYWOOD. It's an amazing homegrown company. It's truly like the American dream. I mean, really,
Wow.
what they've
Aw.
created. But I was coming from kind of more of a higher end brand and, very fashion forward driven. And it's about a 5-hour drive from Madison to POLYWOOD's headquarters. And you're driving through flat cornfields of
Country
the
roads.
country. Yeah.
They're in Indiana, correct?
Yep.
Syracuse, Indiana.
Another
Yes.
Midwest area.
And I was like, what am I doing? My companies were all in big cities and, what am I doing here? And I got to the facility and they started the interview actually by giving me a tour of the manufacturing facility. And I finished that tour and I was just like, where do I sign?
Yeah,
How do I make
where
this
can-
happen?
Aw.
It was really cool. So
And what was it that impressed you so much? Was it the team effort or the product itself or just what was being built from the ground up?
I think it was a little bit of everything, to be honest. The factory it's built on a just-in-time inventory model, so no inventory.
Wow.
And just the technology and the process, and I was just like, there's just so much here. There's so much potential, and it was a product, too, that's built on sustainability and a lifestyle, if that makes sense. Like, it's really, we're selling a lifestyle and a sustainable way. So it's a product that I could get behind, something that's going to last longer than I will. And
Right. That's a lot.
yeah, it was very meaningful, if that makes sense.
So let's dive in. Let's talk about who is POLYWOOD, what do they make, and what makes them so interesting as a furniture manufacturer, outdoor.
Well, I don't even know where to start. So
Well,
POLYWOOD.
the one thing I would say, like that I think with POLYWOOD is it's all the same material, which correct me if I'm wrong, which were like so many other outdoor brands, there's so many. So the design really is the material to a degree.
You're exactly right. And it was founded back in the 1980s.
Out of necessity.
Government mandated recycling programs were just kind of starting. And our co-founder and CEO, Doug Rassi, if you get the chance to meet him, I mean, he is like the true entrepreneur.
I love that.
I mean, he is just, and he saw this overabundance of plastic and was like, there's got to be
Wow.
something we can do with this, something meaningful, right? And he, I think, I don't know where he was, but he saw an Adirondack chair, and he had been, for lack of a better way of saying it, like tinkering in his garage with his high school best friend over plastic. Like, what can we do with this? And in his garage, the first Adirondack chair was formed.
Oh my gosh, they say that's the most successful way to start is in the garage.
Right?
Totally. And like when they were tinkering, obviously the design is a classic design. Were they tinkering using the material like with stamping so that it looks like wood? Like what was there?
To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what they were doing. They had to have been, I need to ask Doug the next time I see him, but they happened to have been melting it.
Right.
Because,
Okay.
to be honest, that's kind of the foundation of the product. It's made with high density polyethylene is actually the plastic chemical substrate.
Okay.
So anything that you see with a number 2 symbol on the bottom of the plastic bottle,
Yep.
we actually recycle that. We have our own in-house recycling facility where we bring in burlap, garbage.
The garbage, the junk.
Yeah. And we clean it, we shred it, we sort it. We have laser sorters that, decipher the clear and the white from the colored plastic. And from there, it's pelletized, UV inhibitors are added, and it's essentially melted down into lumber profiles. So think like 2x4s, right? And that is how POLYWOOD is made.
So that is fascinating. I can see why you would be captivated visiting the plant. So when they introduced POLYWOOD and or I guess decided we've got a product here, we've got something that's not only sustainable but looks good, they obviously being entrepreneurs went with it. And I remember kind of the beginning of the line, there was some colors also. How did they grow in such a short time?
Well, I think that, there was a lot of ups and downs. And I think, I wasn't with the company at that time, but I know that it was boots on the ground and they were, selling a product. The East Coast specifically, all the way from the northern to the southern East Coast, Florida, the product withstands the sea salt air.
Yeah, the
like
elements.
Nothing else.
It does.
And to be honest, I think back then it was the extruded plastic tubes that had the sling over it. I mean, that's the only thing that really withstood the weather on the coast. And POLYWOOD was so much more beautiful. Today we have our classic finish that is what POLYWOOD started with in 14 different colors. And then we've also added our vintage finish and then our new select finish, which are different colors and a different actual, technology process, chemical process for making that lumber that looks more like natural wood and gives it a textural depth, tonal depth, and just elevates the finish a little bit more. But talking about colors specifically, the coast really loves all those vibrant colors.
Right.
And, we definitely, it's iconic with POLYWOOD, I think.
I know. I think
So
it's
there's
so
multiple different styles of a wood design in that, sustainable material. But you also you've gone far from Adirondack chairs, tables, and you have so many different other.
How many SKUs do you have now?
I think, I can confidently say we have over 100,000 SKUs.
Wow.
Yeah. And what's even more mind-blowing about it is that we don't really inventory anything. We inventory, our high velocity SKUs in, Q3, Q4 here we're going into where we will, manufacture some, for inventory. But really what we inventory is our lumber.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
An order comes in and we pull the lumber, it goes through a CNC machine and out the door it goes.
So what is that process turnaround, that timeline look like from an order to?
So it depends on the product. I would say 7 to 10 business days is our standard lead time. Obviously for large projects as an interior designer, if you're designing a large project with maybe over 40 or 50 items on the order, it will be a little bit longer.
Right.
We also introduced, probably 5 years ago now, we introduced our designer series, which is a curated, it's got 3 collections, the Estate collection, the Elevate collection, and the Latitude collection. And it hits a level of design that designers want.
Agreed, yes.
It has like all of the hidden hardware. The challenge with POLYWOOD is that it is not true lumber. It is a plastic lumber. And so from a standpoint of, it's not really carvable, for lack of a better word.
Right.
So the designer series offers an elevated look to our product that doesn't sacrifice any, our 20-year warranty. It doesn't sacrifice how it
functions.
Well,
Yeah.
we're in South Florida, and in South Florida, doing lots of homes along the ocean. It's one of the biggest concerns that most clients have is what they're putting outside. How long is it going to last? Because, so many houses just putting a sink in the backyard, within 2 years, the stainless steel sink is rusting and
Corroded,
rotting.
yeah.
But with POLYWOOD furniture in a backyard with the sea spray and so forth, there's nothing to worry about.
When I first started, we had, customer testimonials on our website. And the one that sticks out is, my home did not withstand Hurricane Sandy, but my POLYWOOD furniture did.
Right.
No, that is, there's a testimony for the test of
But I
time.
also think it's important to kind of discuss the fact that when you think of, we've talked about the Adirondack chair, people think about that and they kind of look at that and classify it, well, that's not the upscale look that I'm looking for. In my backyard, you have so many other alternatives and options, even from the sofas and couches and so
definitely.
forth that you don't have that, what is it, Adirondack look, kind of
Rustic.
yeah.
Yeah.
But POLYWOOD goes much further than that.
There's
from a
definitely some
design
refined
standpoint.
pieces for sure.
Yeah, and I think we just continue to elevate the look, and it's really important to, our brand as a whole is to continue to be, the leading innovator, and style is very important.
Well, you have a collaboration with Martha Stewart.
We do.
You have a collaboration
do.
with
Draper James.
Yeah.
So how do those come about? And, that must be fun for you with like the fashion design world and obviously New York coming to POLYWOOD.
Are those something that are new, or have they been around for quite some time?
We launched, I can't remember which year we launched the Martha Stewart collection. I want to say maybe it was 2022.
Okay.
Not
so
that long
fairly
ago.
new.
Yeah, and it was really exciting working with her and her team. She doesn't settle for
Which is
anything.
amazing. That's
Yes.
awesome.
And so she actually helped push us to new development processes. And prior to the Chinoiserie collection, which is her collection, the first collection in her assortment with POLYWOOD, we were only extruding smaller, I want to say smaller boards. I would say, I think 6 inches wide or 8 inches wide was the largest board we were extruding. And with the innovation of her line, we now extrude a 24-inch wide board.
Wow.
And we laser cut the back design. So that chinoiserie detailing is all laser cut versus, individually tooling each piece. And so that was a major innovation that allows us to achieve, I would say, almost like, cast aluminum looks in
for sure.
our back designs.
For sure.
That was really exciting. And I think, the second collection that we launched with her, the Acadia collection, is very iconic and has taken us to places we wouldn't have maybe necessarily gone to. So it's been really fun.
What a great growth to collaborate with somebody in the industry who's, so well respected and obviously known for not settling. How long is that process, when you guys decide to collaborate with a designer and then, coming up with the designs and you guys doing the innovative part to make it happen within POLYWOOD?
Yeah, I would say we are able to react very quickly because we're right here. But I think each collaboration is a little different because it has to be right. And sometimes that process takes longer and sometimes, it's pretty seamless and easy. So I would say it's a little different for each collaboration that we've done. But, the Martha collaboration, I would say, it was probably about a good 12 months.
Okay. And then is it then what does your launch process look like? Is it like through a high point or is it, through media and social media? How does that process work?
Yeah, it's so we don't show at High Point, unfortunately. The casual furnishings industry, their big show is now in Atlanta. It was previously in Chicago.
Okay.
So typically we try to coincide launches with that show, but we also have the capability to kind of like launch product at any time. We're not tied down to necessarily a specific timeline. Obviously, I think with we have POLYWOOD.com and an amazing, PR team that helps as well. But to get impact in sales and attention, you really want to launch, prior to the spring peak season, if you will.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense for the...
So you're in a lot of retail outlets across the country. Do you have a trade program for the interior designers to work with POLYWOOD?
We do. We have a trade program for designers. The application's on POLYWOOD.com, kind of like all the way at the bottom. There's a link for an application. And the process right now is really seamless. It's all done through kind of a login on POLYWOOD.com. So you're never having to really wait for a quote or have something bottlenecked unless it's like a very special, situation where you reach out to us and we help you, obviously, but it's very seamless. So
placing an order through the website and the fact that everything's pretty much, from what you're saying, made on demand, how quickly does an item go out or items go out?
It's typically everything ships within 7 to 10 business days.
Wow, that's pretty
good. From the time of order. With that being said, the designer series is about 20 to 25 days. But most products, like 90% of our SKUs, I would say 7 to 10 business days. And you can drop ship anywhere. So if you have a project, if your home base is Florida, for example, but you're doing a project in New Jersey, you can drop ship the product right to the home or
another warehouse.
To your warehouse. Yes.
And do you do cushions or COM, any materials, or do you strictly just your product, POLYWOOD?
Yeah, right now we're limited to our stock line, but I would actually say within the next 4 to 6 months, we'll be able to do some COM.
Because I feel like the cushions, adding that really also, made the line appealing, at least to a lot of design professionals.
Yes, absolutely. I know we're getting ready to launch some new fabrics in our stock line with Sunbrella. So some really beautiful things coming up.
So who is the team that you rely on as, the VP of the business development? Do you have an in-house design team, or how do you guys go ahead and curate what's next?
Yeah, we have an amazing design team. It consists of, I want to say there's probably 10 people. But then they work very closely with our engineering team. So I think that was also one of the things that really like drew me to POLYWOOD when I did my interview process and walked through the factory tour and the facility tour, is how closely that they work together. And we also have our own in-house testing lab. So nothing is just designed and put out there, for lack of a better
So
way
what
to
do you
say.
mean by testing lab?
We have a full in-house testing lab that we put our products through
Crash
so
test
that they all
dummy.
meet or exceed the ASTM and BIFMA standards. So we have, the weight testing, we've got it all.
Weather.
Yeah, it's
a
awesome.
hurricane
It's
machine.
Yeah. So our design team will design something, right? And then our engineering team will engineer a sample. And then it goes right to testing. And if it fails, like if the seat strength is not strong enough, it will go back to design. And they will redesign it with, seat strength as a improvement to the design, and then it goes back to engineering and back to testing. And so nothing leaves our facility that is not fully tested.
But I see that you have products now that aren't just the composite material. You have the sling, I guess you call it, material. You have there's some other materials that you're using now in your products.
Yeah, we had some woven accents, in our rocking chairs that we've actually had in our line for quite some time. We are getting ready to preview it in September at September Casual Market in the form of a woven seat bucket in a couple of our collections. So I know, we were talking a little bit earlier that the entire chair or the entire collection is POLYWOOD. We're just elevating the look a little bit when you are able to
Introduce
give
other
a little
finishes.
bit of mixed materials.
I agree,
Yeah.
for sure, without a doubt. Do you ever retire SKUs, or do you guys, just keep adding?
We will retire some, but we're better at adding.
I like that. That's a good. That's what I always say. Just keep adding more. Especially if you make on demand.
Yes.
So what does that process look like when you say making on demand? The order gets received. Walk us through those steps.
Yeah. So
In-house.
the order comes in and it goes into our software system, and in our manufacturing facility, the order will pop up on a screen, and they essentially, to fulfill that order, let's say it's the Chippendale 7-piece dining set, right? The table goes to one cell, the chairs go to another cell, they pull the lumber, and there are CNC machines right there that they cut, the lumber for, and then the order is essentially shipped out the door. So it's very, very seamless, and it's all on demand.
Kind of like you place an order like at a fast food restaurant. It's kind of like it's definitely an interesting process. So what about the design influences, going back to that again? So with PR, you said you have a great PR team, in social media. How often or how do you use, influencers or PR to, get the brand and grow it outside?
Yeah, for sure. We have a full, we have an influencer program that we work with, not just necessarily designers, but maybe a lifestyle influencer or an outdoor gardening enthusiast or, we've done some collaborations like with Blackstone Grills, just that outdoor like living space, right?
Right.
The style of living. So yeah, we have an influencer program that we use. A lot of it is, based on content that we're able to then, repurpose
Use
and
again.
use. Yes, for sure. And then from a PR standpoint, anytime there's like new product launches, or if we're working with, a really large influencer, they have different media outlets that they go to. And yeah.
It's such a fun process now. Like, I mean, even as an end user and a designer, like I love seeing how other, people show the product. It kind of really helps for a client to visualize also.
Yeah, it really does. It's really fun to see how people interpret, the furniture and what they can do with it.
Are there any particular SKUs or items that are really popular? More so than others that
I would say our Edge collection is probably trending as our most popular collection right now.
And what is the Edge collection?
The Edge collection is a little bit more modern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The name says that.
The arm chair has like a sled-based design. So it just, it's beautiful. And in the new Select finish, oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
Aww.
Yeah. And we're also we've just launched that with Sling.
Okay.
Or Sling seat. And then also we'll be launching it with a woven seat bucket as well. And the deep seating comes in a sectional, which I think is trending. I mean, I think it's been trending for a long time,
right.
But it's not going out of style.
No. And it's so cool that you can see the market and, add to it as you need also regarding that. Like knowing the Edge line, is such a hot ticket. And then you can obviously change it up with these other materials and, offer it in other ways. And all of that is, in this made to order quick turnaround.
It is, yeah.
That is
Are there any
impressive.
challenges that POLYWOOD has, in terms of educating consumers out there about the sustainability, the craftsmanship?
I think we had a lot of challenges. I wouldn't say necessarily challenges. It was just an evolution of like how to tell our story.
Educate people.
Right.
Yeah. And back when we first started in the 90s, it was like the milk jug company. Because that's what people recycled was their recycle your milk jugs, right? There wasn't like the single-use plastic is more popular now than ever before.
Right.
And so, the evolution of telling our story and it's so much different when you see it in person. Like when you see it in person, it's so impactful. But how do you then tell that story? And that's where we really tapped into our influencers and our designers. And, we had Carson Kressley and Tom Felicia out.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you guys the video of it
so
if you have not watched
fun.
it.
So fun.
But telling that story from someone that's not a POLYWOOD employee, I could talk about it for days. And
right.
it's genuine, but for someone else to tell your story
that's so
in a
good.
genuine way is way more impactful.
They definitely will make people listen in the design world, especially.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard the whole day. The whole day.
So to what extent is POLYWOOD available to the consumer? Is it nationwide? Is it all over North America? Is it outside of North America? To what extent has POLYWOOD grown as a brand?
Yeah, we've continued to, experience accelerated growth, which is amazing. Right now we sell in, I would say, all channels of distribution, if you will. So, direct to consumer on polywood.com. We have national account retail and e-commerce, specialty retail. So your dealers, interior design community, the commercial trade community, hospitality.
Wow,
that
there's
whole
a lot of
area.
avenues. Yeah.
Yeah. From an international perspective, really, we do have. I want to say it's about maybe 40 international dealers. And, we ship containers over to Europe or Mexico, Canada. and they sell the Caribbean. I think, we've got a
probably,
lot
yeah.
of demand there. Right now, all of our manufacturing is in the United States.
Is
And
it
so really that growth is through our dealer base right now.
and the manufacturing is still done in Indiana?
Yes, it's all in Syracuse, Indiana, which is our headquarters. And then we also opened a second facility in Roxborough, North Carolina. And that facility, it's closer to the East Coast. So it reduces lead times from a shipping standpoint
Right.
to facilitate, those orders.
So interesting. So, what do you think is next for POLYWOOD? Is the co-owner or the co-creators, are they still at the helm?
Yeah, Doug Rassi is very much still involved. He, I don't know how long he'll be involved. He's, I can't imagine Pollywood without him,
I
to
bet.
be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any next generation ready to take the reins? Or?
Yeah, he's got some family that works in, in the company and really established just really great leadership and cross-departmental, co-working. And I think, the next phase for Pollywood is really what products we haven't tapped into yet. We're looking, with the commercial side of things, just all of the different things that, towel returns,
Wow. I mean, that's
entertainment centers for cabanas, just like there's so much out there.
right.
Outdoor structures.
Structures could be huge too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, that's where Pollywood, just the evolution and the growth will continue.
So is it patented, the actual process or the material?
Yes, I believe that, that I should know the answer to that question, but it is patented, I believe. I mean, it's a proprietary process for sure.
Are there any new lines or collaborations coming out that you can talk about? We understand if some of them are kept quiet until it's time, but
Yeah, I can't really divulge any information.
But there's some fun things cooking.
but people should be looking because there's always things coming
for
out.
sure.
Yeah, that's great.
So I also, when, I always think of this business and this industry as somewhat untapped, and there's still so much growth. Obviously, you just mentioned a few of where Pollywood's going to grow. As for you in the industry and being able to work from home as a mom of 3, what does your daily juggle look like, or your daily task for, staying present to Pollywood, but kind of having it all?
Yeah, it is. I know. And I think that, I grew up in a era where, women can do it all.
Right.
And, we do a lot, but we can't do it all.
No, we try.
No one can.
No. The
And
juggle struggle,
so-
I call it.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think, I have 3 kids that are in a lot of activities, and summer is difficult. It's definitely challenging. But we ask for help a lot when it comes to the family. And I have, a really supportive husband and a really supportive family too, to be honest. I mean, I travel quite a bit.
So you do
for work.
travel a lot.
Yeah, I do. And I think it's important, though, that my children, especially I've got 2 daughters, and even for my son to see, that mom works hard and she might leave, but she always comes back.
Right.
And it's important to see them, seeing me in a position of leadership, and I think it's really important. And yeah, but my daily, oftentimes I'll go to bed at night and I look at the calendar for the next day and like, whew, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
But we do it. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
I
That's
know.
for sure.
And it's just wonderful that, POLYWOOD is has this opportunity, to work in both ways.
It is. It is.
So, as head of business development, are you out kind of looking? Like, I'll use an example. We were just recently in Maui, and the resort we were staying at, along the beach and the kind of the grassed area away from the pool, had a lot of chairs, kind of Adirondack chairs and tables and whatnot. And I'm guessing they were probably POLYWOOD because they were the sustainable material. They weren't made of wood. So I think of like, who sold all those chairs and all that furniture to that resort? Is that something like what you would do with business development, getting into,
yeah, for
big
sure.
sales like that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I am in sales mode all the time. We're headed to Gather, the ASID conference on Monday. Yep. So we'll be there, and I'll be working. We've got a little exhibition booth there.
So trying to get in front of interior designers.
Yes, and commercial, hospitality.
Yeah.
That side of the business is a real focus for us in terms of growth right now. We're hiring and have a dedicated team to that segment.
Yeah, our podcast, a large percentage of the listeners and viewers are interior designers or in the sort of interior design world.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's a big focus for us. And we'll be at BDNY in November. And then we turn around and go back to Atlanta. Our flagship showroom is there in Atlanta. We relocated a few years ago when the market relocated from Chicago to Atlanta. We invested in a beautiful showroom
Brick
there.
and mortar there.
So we do all of the shows that come through America's Mart. And so we'll be there and in Dallas. And then HD Expo is another big one that we will be at.
Okay. So there's
Now, we're not at KBIS yet, but I have a feeling that might come.
And you said you're not at High Point?
We're not. We try to support the market as much as we can. It was really difficult. We were going to go there, and then the casual market moved to Atlanta. And so where is the next showroom for POLYWOOD? I don't know right now, but I would say it's hard. The proximity of the two, even though they're different.
Yeah, they're close.
So do you have more showrooms than Atlanta? Are there any other cities?
No, just at our headquarters. We have a showroom there.
Okay.
And we were in Las Vegas, and we've been in Dallas before. So we do a lot of the trade shows that require temporary. So a lot of investment in that.
And
Right.
logistics too, moving those moving pieces around. And for the brick and mortar stores, like say retail, do you require them to put a certain amount of pieces on the floor at all time, or how does that?
So that's one thing, we don't require a deep investment in their inventory because of our models. So, there's no reason for you as a store to overbuy, right? For lack of a better way of saying it, when we are a just-in-time manufacturer and can fulfill orders on demand. But with that said, the growth from being known as, let's say, the Adirondack chair company to where we are today, I mean, that really came a lot, from our specialty dealers and retail
that's
partners.
That's how I originally found it.
Has POLYWOOD ever done custom orders or custom interior designer comes and says, we'd like to get 3 of these, whatever it might be, made. Can you facilitate it?
But not a quantity of 3, sadly. Okay. I would say if it's maybe over 50 or 100, we could. We could explore it or look at it. A lot of our requests we get are like for, engraving like the back of a bench or something. It's got to be a larger order, and color is definitely probably a no. It's to develop
A new color.
A color is like, I mean, it's thousands of hours of research and development that
Wow.
are. I mean, it's chemistry. It's all that's what it is. It's crazy to think, right? If you think it's just plastic, but
Yeah, you just add some food coloring here and there.
It's it's interesting in the manufacturing process that you have the ability, and I think of it because we're involved in a tequila company, and I was involved in another tequila company helping it grow years ago, and they were, each bottle, as it was being made, they were numbering the bottles. The fact that you're making furniture as it's being ordered, you could be giving each piece of furniture its own personal serial number. So it now has like another intrinsic value to it because it's like it's a one of or of so many.
Yeah, well, when to some degree, we do that, actually.
They have like
We
a VIN number.
Serial number that's on the bottom, and it's more for quality control.
Uh-huh.
So if there's a defect or if anything goes wrong with the product, we're able to track it back to the exact lot of lumber that it was made from and the exact machine that it was produced on, so that we're able to improve the quality instantaneously.
Right. Yeah, I think of you put a little certificate with each thing that goes out. This is your custom-made, personal, chair, table, whatever it might be. I think a lot of people might find that to be like, wow, I got my own custom-made.
Yeah,
because you really are making it
Yeah.
custom-made for everyone. What it seems like.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I love that. It's all about the experience, the consumer experience,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And it's something else that people will talk about. They'll tell their friends, "Oh, this was custom made for me. This is my personal number." And
I love
a lot of
that.
people like that.
We might have to take that back to the creative marketing team. I like that.
You think about like a painting, and then the artist takes the painting, and they have 150 lithographs made, and they're each individually numbered. But they're being made by a printer. They're not by the artist, but there's still enormous value because there's only 150 of them made.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I want one of those bottles of tequila you were talking about.
Yeah, well, you
Yes.
can hook you up on that. This is a funny question. If you could reinvent any everyday outdoor object out of polywood, what would you choose?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I liked the garbage towel recycle idea.
Yeah.
What's that?
I know
Like
it's
a
not
recycle.
even possible, but if we could figure out a way to do a grill.
That would be so cool.
Well, I'll tell you one that I wish that you guys would make is that, and just goes back to our backyard in our house, and I forget where we got it made. It was made of teak. It's a beautiful bar. It's about 6 feet long, and it's normal bar height, with shelves and everything underneath it. But over the last number of years, it's kind of deteriorated, and because it's made of
Yeah.
wood. And
outdoor bar.
But I love the bar in our backyard. It's it's used so much. We got a great umbrella over it, like 11 foot. And I think of Polywood, man, if they could make outdoor bars.
We might have to just do that.
I was going to say maybe
we would.
I'll help design it.
I'd be the first one to buy one immediately.
We could be your trial.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
I'm
because
going to go submit a request to my design team as soon as we hang up.
I know, right? That's such a. I mean, that is it.
and it's just strips of what we have. There are strips of teak, but it's so difficult to who's going to maintain the teak and
I know.
and like you mentioned the salt water and whatnot in Florida, it deteriorated and it was probably like $3,000 when we bought it.
Yeah.
And today Tiffany wants to get rid of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But Poly would be fantastic for
It
something
really
like
would.
that.
We'll get you a replacement soon.
I think that would be. I think that's a good place to kind of wrap up because I think that would be a really great idea.
Yes.
We need to
It is
maybe
a really
go
great
tackle
idea.
that.
No, it's more of the outdoor entertaining. and especially, we're located in Florida. Outdoor entertaining is 12 months a year.
Absolutely.
So it's a big focus that every client that we have,
Absolutely. We just launched bar carts. We've got 3 different designs of bar carts. Mm-hmm. But I think the bar is the next.
I'm going to send you some pictures.
Yeah, we'll send you.
Yes,
We'll have to make
great idea.
a sketch of
because
it.
I see the places where POLYWOOD is sold here in South Florida. And I know that almost all the places that sell it would sell the bar because I think it was
And with it being on, created on demand, I mean, you could do the same bar skew, but with 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, just so easily.
And I think that we originally
Mm-hmm.
bought it from Pottery Barn, and they no longer, they have other styles, but the styles they have just aren't that great.
And it was kind of out of a necessity. We actually have a beautiful summer kitchen area at our house, but we were having a party and wanted to have like a destination bar. So we kind of, did it and it never left.
I love it. Well,
great.
and it's a lifestyle. I mean, I think that's, outdoor living it's a lifestyle. And
well, and the high
everything
top
from-
too, it kind of gives another, a lot of people for balconies and everything like that. It gives it's another, they like having that higher seating.
Yes.
Instead of just a table, it could be at a bar.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us today.
Yes, thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Right? It is fun. And
So
I
for
just
more
love
people who are
hearing about
interested
new
in
companies.
POLYWOOD, it's polywood.com.
Yep.
And there's a search on your website for finding retailers that are, in everyone's vicinity. That
Absolutely.
will help guide people to see the product line.
And I love your Instagram too. I do follow POLYWOOD, and I think it definitely represents the product very well.
Thank you. Yes, we try hard, and if you want to apply for the designer program, the application's in a link at the bottom of our homepage. Polywood.com.
Well, thank you so much, Lindsay, for joining us. Enjoy the rest of summertime.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
iDesign Labs podcast is an SW Group production in association with the 5-Star and TW Interiors. To learn more about iDesign Lab or TW Interiors, please visit twinteriors.com.